When life knocks you down, and life will knock you down, try to land on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. Welcome to Fire with Dr. Ninja Turtle.
Hello everyone, welcome back to Fire with Dr. Ninja Turtle. In this video, I'm going to talk about automating your finances to financial freedom. What I like is I like not having to touch my finances. I like everything to run automatic, but first, before you do that, you have to go through a few steps first. And one of them is consistency in your actions. You need to be consistent in your behaviors. And that means not just buying things on impulse. One of the things about me is that I'm very frugal. Now, I will not spend money on a regular daily basis. However, with this here, I will put a lot of money into this. And so we're getting ready to do that again because now it needs some new gauges. So the other part is live below your means. And we've talked about this and other people have talked about this, but you've got to increase the gap between what you make and what you spend. Because if you can increase that gap, you can take what you would have spent and put that into savings. And in another video, I will talk about savings rate because that's one of my favorite things to talk about is how large can you make your savings rate? But what you want to do is increase that gap. So what happened to me is I mentioned that my income was decreased 3 years in a row when I was demoted with the federal government. Well, when that happened, I had to learn to decrease my spending 3 years in a row. And so I did that. And then with that, I had to learn to pay off bad debt. And so I paid off the bad debt and I learned the difference between bad debt and good debt. Good debt is my real estate investments. And so that's where I put my money. So I would save every penny I could and put a down payment on a piece of real estate. And so now I have a few pieces of real estate. And after 3 years of being retired, some of them are paid off. And I'll talk about that in a future video. So the other thing is to automate your 401k, automate all of your investments so that out of your paycheck every single month, this money just automatically goes to your investments. The other thing is not having lifestyle creep. You know, as my income went down, I had to not spend money on things that I couldn't afford. So as my income went up, I still did the same thing, right? I think like a millionaire, but I act like I'm broke because I want to invest for financial freedom. I'm looking at the long picture. I refinanced my interest rate because when I retired here, the bank said that there wasn't enough income to buy this house. And the house doesn't cost that much. And I had plenty of income, but for whatever reason, the bank said no. So I pulled money from my retirement account, my TSP with the government, and I put a sizable down payment on this house. But what they did was they said for us to have a commercial loan, not a residential loan. So when we refinanced, they said, well, do you want to take money out of the house because you put down such a large down payment? No. So I have very low payments and a low interest rate. And what I figured out with my mortgage is if I put a little bit extra on the mortgage every month, 0% interest rate. So that's what you want to do with your money. You want to be smart with your money. You want to look at the amortization table and you want to say, what extra can I put on this, even if it's just a little bit, to lower the actual amount of interest that I pay. And so this is good debt. My rental properties are good debt. Credit cards, bad debt. So please like and subscribe if you like these videos, and please share them with a friend. So in my last video, I talked about Gary Keller and the Millionaire Real Estate Investor. And the first principle that he had that I've adopted from years ago that helped me to automate my way to financial freedom was to think like a millionaire, develop the financial literacy and the mindset of a millionaire. So I studied millionaires. There are a number of books about millionaires, and I studied them like The Millionaire Next Door. I studied how they behaved, and I made my behavior consistent, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, with their behavior. And that's how I automated my way, and I still have that same consistent behavior. So a new book that I just found that I'm reading is The Key to Money is Having Some. And so I thought that was so funny, because when you don't have any money, all you want is some money. Now the question is, since I'm in retirement, what do I do with the money that I have? I don't want to spend it. It's hard once you've been a saver for a long time to turn around and say, let's spend the money. However, I did read the book, Die with Zero, and so I am starting to learn to enjoy the money that I've made on my way to financial freedom. It doesn't make any sense for a person, and I'm not saying I have $10 million, but it does not make a sense for a person to die with $10 million when they could have enjoyed 5 million of it. So I'm going to start enjoying the money that I have now, which, is not that much, but it's enough for me because I have a federal government pension and because I bought an inexpensive home that is not 90% of my net worth. And so my quote of the day is, financial independence is not about money, it's about freedom. And that's what I crave today. So I'm not going to spend 12 hours editing a YouTube video because I don't want a job. I am not on YouTube to make a bunch of money, right? I have financial freedom. And so I see people on YouTube, and some of them take money from the people that come to their channel. That will not be me. I don't need your money. And so I am not going to be asking for a super thanks, or I'm not going to be creating courses. Even though I am a professor, I'm not going to create courses. I'm simply going to tell you about my lived experience and how I got to financial freedom. And so remember this, never let your past determine your future.